Hi, I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to be focusing on the Wild Queen and telling you when and when not to cast her spell, what is good and what is bad about it, and showing a couple of teams with her in and showing them in action too. Her spell is super dangerous and mega aggressive and I really like it, although it can go wrong. The artwork on her card is really nice, I quite like it, it's pretty cool. She knows how to wear a dress, she has nice piercing eyes. You could say she looks a bit thorny, but just ignore those ears. Now, the actual spell itself, in my case, steals up to 41 attack from an enemy and gives it to the first ally. Then creates a mix of 22 skulls and green gems, so really aggressive spell. What you do have to be careful of with this is generally you're only going to cast it when the first enemy is entangled. Because if they're not entangled and this spell misses, and what I mean by misses is you can cast this and get no matches on green or skulls at all. And then you've set up the opponent in a massive way. If the opponent is entangled on the first troop at least, then you are not going to get load of damage back from the skulls which the Wild Queen actually created, which is not good at all. Now we can do that because we're in the Elemental class in this team with the Doomed Glaive. Now Elementalist class stuns, freezes, burns and entangles a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems just on that third trait alone, which is super overpowered. It's a mega good trait, but we have to use it because pretty sure everyone else on defense Guild Wars time is going to be using that. It's like that's going to be very common now to see that on Guild Wars, so we may as well use it too. Now the way this team works on this one is we've got Leprechaun, who starts with full mana and will explode a bunch of green gems at the start, which is going to charge up and give mana to the rest of the team. Now Apothecary is there. She transforms a selected colour to brown, as well as having a cleanse to all allies, which is really handy. Now, the convert colour to brown has 2 really significant reasons. First, it's the only troop that uses brown is Wild Queen, so she will get all of that brown. So she hopefully gets charged up nice and fast. But also, the Doomed Glaive deals damage to all enemies, +1 per tempering level, then converts brown to Doom Skulls. So any of those lingering brown that get left over are going to be able to convert into Doom Skulls, which generally it means you're going to get some really easy skull hits. And if the first enemy is entangled as well, then it's happy days for us and we can wipe through the opponent. On the champion talents, nothing too important to have, but I do like to have Snap Freeze, freeze a random enemy at the start, as well as having Insulated, which is immunity to frozen. The rest of them just pick whatever you like. Rock Solid I like to have as well though, gain a barrier when matching brown gems. Banners wise, for this team I like to have +2 brown, +1 purple, -1, no I don't, that's completely wrong. I was reading that, I was thinking -1 green, that makes no sense. So over there, +2 green, +1 purple, -1 red, that's more like it. Right, now let's show this team in action. Up against the powerful Zul'Goth team here. So we'll see how we do. What we're going to be doing is checking around for 4 matches first, because with the Elementalist class they're always worth taking because you then get that freeze, stun, entangle, everything on the first enemy. But with nothing doing on 4 matches, we'll explode green. There's not tons there, but it's better than nothing. We'll see if we get any fortunate 4 matches, which we did. And we'll check around, make sure. Always get something like this. This is going to create a ton of mana now for us. There's so many new things coming into this game now. It feels like it's getting a little bit out of control. Now, because of that Elementalist third trait, we've already got 3 out of the 4 entangled. What's relevant about this is we're entangled at the same time. So you want to cast this first if you can. Just make sure we get some 4 matches first. I know we don't need the brown right now, but I'm only doing this to get our Doomed Glaive cleansed. Now it is, we can cast that and do a lot of damage, and now we have multiple choices. We've got brown to skulls, which is just everywhere, or we can go Wild Queen. We can cast her first, knowing that the first troop is entangled, and we're going to have a massive boost on our attack at the same time. But I just want to see how crazy this goes, because there's skulls everywhere. So I'm going to do that first, and that is obliterate the first opponent straight away. That's safe to do because the second opponent was entangled at the same time. We'll take that anyway because it's there. Grab that because Zul'Goth cannot be affected by those Elementalist traits because he is impervious, which actually helps us in this case, because now when we cast Wild Queen, we can still his attack, which boosts up our Doomed Glaive. And now we have, what have we got now? We can do, if we have a look around anywhere, it'll do a 4-match on brown to a different colour. Don't think there's anything there initially. But we're going to kill Zul'Goth anyway, and the last opponent is entangled, so absolutely safe to do that. Even if there were skull hits there, it would not make any difference. There's nothing they can do to fight us. Right, let's just get this over and done with. We'll cast that, see if we get any charge. Now we'll look around for a brown. We can do that at least on there, so we'll cast that and just have a look around, see if there's anything better. I find it easier when you know you're going to cast it. Like I could see straight away we had red to brown there. I find it easier to press cast sometimes because that then dulls out the brown in this case, and then you can. I find it easier to pick out other colours myself and see if there's anything else that will give us even more matches. I like that one more because that's going to make things drop down like that. And then we've got brown to skulls, or we could do Wild Queen. Either way, that would have been a comfortable victory. So that's a really nice team to use on that one. That's pretty straightforward how it works. I'll just show the other team now. This team works in a similar kind of way, but with a slight twist. We're still going to be using Leprechaun to charge the team up from the start, but this time, because we don't have a Entangler in the team, by automatic, like I mean that third trait where you get the Elementalists, freeze, entangle, all that stuff. We can do it now by Essence of Evil. Essence of Evil inflicts all negative status effects on an enemy and explodes, in my case, 43 gems of their mana colour. So ordinarily you'd throw this on the first opponent or second opponent. You can cast the Wild Queen on the first opponent sometimes, like if the reduction in attack leaves their attack on a insignificant, not dangerous level, then you can do that to a degree, knowing you will maybe leave them some skull hits if she misses. But if their attack is something really low, then it may not be anything to worry about anyway. At the same time, we do have a cleanse in this team with the Queen Beatrix third trait, which is really handy, and we'll turn to her should we have no other option when it comes to creating mana or casting spells. What I would say about this team is this is fine for this team. We're an Archer class. What's good about Archer is it gives us a ton of benefits. Starts battles with 50% mana, 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal. On the champion talents, most of them are relevant. Hunt. Hunters mark a random enemy on 5 of a kind is relevant. Root Trap, really good. This means the first enemy is entangled straight away. So even if we can't get Essence of Evil charged, but we do get a lucky charge, say, on Wild Queen, we know we can cast on the Wild Queen knowing that the first enemy cannot hit us back with skulls. I should have changed a couple of these because these are set up for a Centaur team because of the current event. So yeah, just change Celestial Occurrence, you don't want that, or Gale Force, just have a look what's there and change it to whatever makes sense. But certainly the most important ones here are the Root Trap and Hunt. What I would say about this team is as well, if you're fighting a Goblin team, I would change the class to something like Frost Mage. You really do want to freeze someone straight away at the start of the game. Because Goblin teams, if they get going, they'll just loop and loop and loop until you are dead. And getting one of them frozen at the start is really, really important. But we don't have that here, so we can play Archer class like normal. Right, have a look around for 4 matches. Got a couple of double drops here, like obviously the red will bring this down as well, which will also give brown, but we've got a nice smattering of green everywhere. The important thing to look out for when casting something like this is how spread out the colour is. In this case, green. It's like they're everywhere apart from this top corner, which means we're going to benefit from all these brown around everywhere. So Wild Queen's going to get charged up good, and so is Essence of Evil. Right, now we're good to go straight away, and because of the Archer class, the first enemy is entangled. So it's perfectly safe to cast Wild Queen immediately on the second opponent down. You don't want to do it on the one that's entangled because you do not gain their attack then, because their attack is effectively 0, so there's nothing to steal. Now what I like to do with this is, when we've done that and she hasn't got any more attacks because she didn't get any to return, or we did get extra turns, sorry, or they've had their go, I don't know what happened. But I like to then cast Essence of Evil on the next troop with the highest attack down, which is underneath the one we just stole some attack from, because they're already at a level where we're not actually that bothered about them. And we've got Lucky Skull here, and they're gone now as well. And now we can cast Wild Queen on the next opponent down, and that was super quick and super easy. Queen Beatrix didn't even come into it. It's a really easy team to use and super effective. So there's my two green teams using the Wild Queen. She's super awesome, absolutely one of the best mythics in the game, and I love her when she's on form, and I hate her when she's not on form. But most of the time you can help yourself by, when she's in a bad mood, when she's not making things match, by making sure the first or second opponent are entangled first, and those two teams show how to do that. But there's the video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, it'd be cool if you liked and subscribed. But thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye for now.